Hey there, this is Matt, and welcome back to another marathon. This will be of Toby Hooper's films. May he rest in peace. He's a guy who's done quite a few stuff I enjoy. And although his first film was one called Eggshells, which I'm going to try to find and watch, I figure the first one to talk about is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, I've already reviewed this film. In fact, I've reviewed all of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. I will, if I remember, put down below a playlist which I have all my older reviews. I reviewed Chainsaw Massacre 1 through 4, the remake, the prequel to the remake, and Chainsaw 3D. My favorite are the first two. Part 3 is okay, Part 4 is a piece of shit, although I can laugh at Matthew McConaughey, have fun with his performance, but it's a piece of shit film. The remake, I don't mind the remake. I actually do overall like the remake from 2003. I think the prequel is a piece of shit, and Texas Chainsaw 3 Dicks in My Face is a piece of shit. Now, I actually already recorded a fan commentary for Chainsaw Massacre 2, and I was going to do one for this, but in the middle of doing it, it's hard to do a commentary on a film like this, because at least Chainsaw 2 I can defend. Some people dislike it. I disagree. This film, so many scholars, so many people have talked about this. What more can I say? Anything I say about the film you already know about. There's Blu-rays and there's other DVDs and there's documentaries, and anybody who talks about Toby Hooper has talked about this film. Some would say it's the only good film he's done. The majority would say it's the best film he's done. And since I already reviewed it and I couldn't do a fan commentary because, again, what more can I add to it? Chainsaw 2, at least I can defend it and so forth. But this one is considered a classic for a reason. I know it's on Blu-ray, but I like this DVD, the Dark Sky Films DVD 2 disc, which has the bonus disc is the documentary The Shocking Truth. They also have a bonus documentary, Flesh Wounds, which have interviews with Edwin Neal, interview with Gunnar Hansen, among others, and quite a few special features. So this is more just my thoughts on the movie. I first saw this on cable back in the day. It must have been between 1997, 96, 97 to 1999, because that's when we first got cable. I lived in a different part of Iowa, in the middle of nowhere on a farm, and I think it was shown on cable. I know it wasn't a sci-fi channel or such. It was a cable because there were no commercials. It might have been Independent Film Channel. Might have been IFC. And I believe they showed, for some reason, I remember them showing the first and the third one. I think it might have been the third one and then the first one, because I taped it and I did see the third one, but I had to go to bed to go to school and then saw the first one later. I had taped on VHS tape and got home, watched it, and was blown away. Very rarely do I get scared by movies, and I'm not just saying that because, oh, I'm a tough guy. Just something that's happened. When I was a 6, 7, 8 years old, around there, maybe one of the first times I saw gore was Chainsaw Massacre 2, where the guy's head got fucked up at the beginning. And I went, ooh, ah. The beginning of Aliens, just because being a little kid and the way it opened up with the titles coming up and that creepy music and and the lights explode on the title of Alien, especially the eye. Being like 7, 8 years old, hiding under a blanket. This, as for films, this one and the Blair Witch Project. The Blair Witch Project, because I had never seen a movie like that before. I saw it on VHS tape, and it seemed like something you just found, and I was part of this group of 3. I was the 4th member, and I got sucked in. Never saw a film like that before, because I had not seen films like Cannibal Holocaust or 84 Charlie Mopik or movies of that nature. So this found footage was something completely new to me, and I saw it and it really impressed me. The other film would be this one because it just had that documentary style people call cinema verite. It just felt real. It felt real. It felt dangerous. It felt raw. It felt intense, visceral. There's very, very little blood, but it had a great intensity to it. And it felt, Joe Bob Briggs or someone else said it best. It felt like you were in the hands of a madman. That's the thing. I'm surprised Joe Bob Briggs has never done a commentary for this. You would think he's one of the biggest fans of the movie. He's done commentaries on films. I know because I've had them. I have them, and they're pretty shitty movies. Have him do commentaries for good movies like this. Why not? You would think that'd be prime candidate. But this one, I thought the cast did fine for what they were supposed to do. Gunnar Hansen as Leatherface worked well. The score, it's hard to even call the score. It's more sound effects and just creepy sounds, whether it be the opening with that pew, pew, sort of that weird camera, old camera type of noise, whatever that is, that pew, which they used in the trailer to the remake. Even the beginning, John Larroquette doing the narration, which they got him back for the remake, and the fun story where he got paid. Toby Hooper paid him by giving him a joint. I thought Marilyn Burns, Paul Bartain, the art director Bob Burns, did a great job. All the chicken bones and all this weird stuff, teeth, and it didn't feel slick. Very opposite of slick and very opposite of stylistic, and it was even nowadays, a lot of times when people do that, it feels artificial. I don't know if it's because of the film stock they're using, or because it's digital, or because they're trying too hard, as less natural. Maybe because it was the 16 millimeter blowing up the 35 millimeter. I believe that's how they did it. Edwin Neal seems crazy in real life, as he does in the movie as a hitchhiker. This is one of those instances that the lack of blood actually works in its favor. It's funny when people go, there's a lot of blood in this movie. It's like, did you see the movie? Yeah, there's a lot of blood. And there's really not. In fact, I know Toby Hooper thought he was going to get a PG rating for this. Titles at one point was Head Cheese, another point was Leatherface, and this was the perfect title. I mean, the title says it all. And it was sad watching this because so many people with this has passed away. I mean, you think about it. Toby Hooper, the director, has passed away. You look at the cast. Marilyn Burns, the lead. Sally, she passed away. Paul Bartain, who was in the wheelchair, he passed away. Gunnar Hansen, who played Leatherface, passed away. Jim Seedow, who was the cook, who would be in the sequel, he passed away. Bob Burns, the art director, he passed away. Like I already mentioned, Toby Hooper passed away. So yeah, it's sad. A lot of people involved with this film have passed away. I mean, some of the actors are still here, like Terry McMinn, I believe, and Alan Danziger, and the cinematographer Daniel Pearl. I thought he did a good job with this. He also was the DP on the remake because he was friends with the director Marcus Nispel. And I thought it was shot some really good looking shots. I mean, people remember the shot where the woman is going up the house and it's low and behind her. And that's the thing is that nowadays, if you try to do that shot, number one, they would think, oh, well, you're stealing that from Chainsaw Massacre. Or two, oh, well, that's an ass shot. You're doing that to show the person's ass. But here, it felt, yeah, it's nice ass on the side over here. But it really is sort of this intimidating view of the house in the middle of nowhere. But again, nowadays we've seen so many people do that kind of shot for other reasons, like Michael Bay, and so the films he directed, Transformer movies. If he has a shot of Megan Fox's ass, it's not because of some ominous threat or some artistic shot. It's because there's an ass. I have nothing wrong with ass, but don't call yourself artistic when you're not. Don't give me a fucking milkshake when it's actually a cum stain. Okay? Don't feed me bullshit. I'd rather eat actual food than bullshit. I'll take a milkshake, not a shit shake. Alright? Fuck's sake. But throughout this film, I mean, just weird stuff. The weird, like, spider type of thing in this corner. Like, it was like a swarm of spiders or whatever the hell they were. And the beginning of a dead animal, armadillo. I believe it was armadillo. Because, from what I understand, at first they wanted a dead dog, and then they would rise up to see a van, then there was going to be a horse, but then they had an armadillo, which Bob Burns found an armadillo dead on the road, did some taxidermy, and put it out there. You have the dinner sequence, which, from what I understand, took like 27 hours to shoot, and they were all going crazy for how hot it is and how smelly it was. I always remember the finale where the Edwin Neal is slicing Marilyn Burns, and then that truck driver who becomes the hero of the movie. If you think about it, this big guy driving this truck, he becomes a hero. He runs over the hitchhiker, gets the girl the safety to go to the other side away from Leatherface, and then hits Leatherface with this like hammer mallet, which makes him cut his own leg, and the guy runs off. And I'm like, there's the hero of the movie, the unsung hero of the flick, and just a very, very intense movie still. Like the one guy, he comes in, it seems scarier because of how sudden it is. Because usually in movies, especially in the 70s, people go into a dark house and then they explore the entire house. Up, down, in the basement. But right when he gets in, he walks like 5 feet, trips, and all of a sudden, then the guy quivering. Because you get the idea that when Leatherface hit him, some bone fragments went to his skull and his brain, so he's convulsing. And that slam of that door and that creepy noise, I'm not even going to replicate it. And, someone was mentioning this, and something I didn't think about. This seems like the start of the horror film where you had a final girl, a final female survivor. Because I'm trying to think what films before this had a final female survivor, lone female survivor. Because you found a lot of that afterward, whether it be in Alien, whether it be in Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. But what films before Chainsaw Massacre had the final girl? Because when was Black Christmas? I'm just curious. 74. So, okay. But not many films, I can't remember many films before that doing that kind of stuff, which I found kind of interesting. But yeah, it's one of those movies where it's not too long. It did not overstay its welcome. It's an hour and 20 some minutes. It's all it needed to be. Yeah, I love the weird, creepy images. I mean, the sort of flashes back in and out of this corpse type bones, and then this cemetery pullback of this corpse on top of another corpse. You're wondering, what the hell is this, and who made this, and what's going on, and Then the acting did fine for what they were supposed to do. Gunnar Hansen, I thought, did a good job as Leatherface. You know, the moment where he's sort of wondering what's going on as if they're coming out of the woodwork and sits down and sort of puts his head in his hands. And it's one of those movies that became a classic for a reason. And of course, when the film was released, they, for some reason, sold it to this company, Bryanston Company, something like that, who were pretty much mafia. So they took all the money, and no one in this film got paid, which is sad because this film made tons of money to the point that everyone in this film should have been rich from it. But it's kind of like the original Night of the Living Dead, where films that became. Although I will say, I'm not a fan of Night of the Living Dead. I'm sorry, I'm not. I prefer Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, the remake of Night of the Living Dead. I respect what the original Night of the Living Dead did, but I'm not a fan of the movie. This, on the other hand, I am a big fan of. And that's why when you got to the sequel, I was fine that he went a different route and went more of a, you could call it campy, dark humor, dark comedy, because how can you get more intense than this? And that's the thing, that's why I don't care about all these other Chainsaw Massacre films, because they're never going to be as intense as this movie. And then people are like, well, you're judging it for that. Okay, well, I like Chainsaw Massacre too. And that went to a very different route. It was very well done. Chainsaw 3, it's okay, but it just seems like a step down, and the fact it's a less intense version of this movie. Part 4 went ape shit crazy, and there was fucking guy coming in with nipple rings or whatever the hell he had. Men in Black. What the fuck? And that's why, people are like, oh, this new Leatherface movie. I'm like, great, so it's a fucking remake of The Devil's Rejects, where a couple people are on the run and this crazed lawman is coming after them. And Rob Zombie already ripped that off from Chainsaw Massacre 2. Because what was that? A lawman, and Dennis Hopper has a little bit. He's more likable, but you know, he's not 100% sane when he's saying, I'm the Lord of the Harvest. Although I really love his character in that movie. And he's more likable than like William Forsythe or whatever, but still, it was a lawman going after these crazy guys. So, what's the Devil's Reject? A lawman who might not be all there going after these guys. What's the new Leatherface? Now they went back to Devil's Reject. I mean, lawman Stephen Dorff going after these guys. I'm like, I've seen this movie, but that's another topic. I mean, just fucking Cult of Chucky, Leatherface, Stephen King shit. No, I didn't see it. I don't care to see it. I don't want to waste my time. I'll prefer films like Get Out or The Final Girls or Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. And hell, there are exceptions to the rule. I like the Hills of Eyes remake. Like I said, I didn't mind the Chainsaw Massacre remake. Maniac remake Elijah Wood. But that's why I say it's exceptions to the rule. It doesn't mean it's the normal rule. But you know me, I have a unique, not good, not bad, just a unique taste in movies. I mean, hell, when I get in this Toby Hooper marathon, I'll say right here, uh, I like Life Force is growing on me. I like Life Force. I love the Mangler. I fucking don't like Invaders from Mars, other than the effects and some stuff. But some people love Invaders from Mars. I prefer the Mangler over Invaders from Mars. I like Chainsaw Massacre 2. Some people don't like it. Different strokes, different folks. But I'm going off tangent. But yeah, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I like this cover too. Leatherface's dance at the end, which that's a hell of a way to end the movie. And I think that's the thing is that when you do something so well, how do you replicate that? And sometimes a franchise can only go so far until you just stop it. Sometimes it's okay to be over. That's why you don't see a lot of Dracula movies and a lot of Frankenstein movies. Once in a blue moon, they did that fucking Dracula movie that no one saw in light. That was supposed to be part of, I mean, what was Dracula Untold, Unrising, and what, they did that Victor Frankenstein? How many people saw that film? What was the last Frankenstein movie before that? Yeah, once in a while you're going to dredge it up because of name recognition. But sometimes it's okay to be over. I'm just at that age where I don't need any more Leatherface. I don't need any more Chucky. I don't need any more. If imagine if they kept doing that with Dracula, Frankenstein. Well, they kind of did, but imagine instead of this movie getting made, you had another Dracula movie. You had another Frankenstein movie. You had another Invisible Man movie. If you kept doing that, then you would not have gotten films like this, or Friday the 13th, or Nightmare on Elm Street. And believe me, nothing's original. And don't get me wrong, there were original movies that suck too. That's why it's subjective. It depends on each film. If it's a good movie, it's a good movie. And what is a good movie is subjective. That's why you can't pinpoint anything. That's why I have my own unique taste in movies and films. I like what I'm going to like, and I'm going to dislike what I'm going to dislike. And at this age, I can gather if it's a film I'm going to like or dislike. Once in a blue moon, I'm surprised. And I don't know why I'm getting on this tangent when I'm talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but maybe because, you know, every year there are films I've enjoyed in the horror genre. As Above, So Below, I know a lot of people hate that film. I really enjoyed it. The Tunnel, another film I really enjoyed. Deliver Us from Evil, another film I really enjoyed. The Shallows, another film I really enjoyed. Get Out came out this year. I really enjoyed that film. It Follows, I didn't mind. I had some issues, but overall I liked it. Didn't love it, but I liked it. The Conjuring 1 and 2, I liked them. Didn't love them. They were there. But I guess I got on that because I know they're doing another Leatherface and do another Chucky and a remake of it, and everyone loves it. And hey, I'm sure I can't say anything because I didn't see them, but I can make that opinion of I just don't give a shit about them. That doesn't excite me. I knew I've already seen that though. Even if actually, oh, there's going to be a new Rocky film and Ivan Drago. I already saw that in Rocky 4. I don't need to see Rocky and Ivan Drago again. I saw that in Rocky 4. I don't need to see that at Creed 2. I've already seen that. That doesn't. Go do another Terminator. Linda Hamilton is coming back. I don't care. I don't care. I've seen this stuff before. That doesn't excite me to see repetition. But with everything, there's exceptions to the rule, just everything. But if I did a list of my favorite horror films of the past 5 years or 10 years, would there be remakes on there? Sure. I enjoyed the Hills of Eyes remake, the Dawn of the Dead remake. But more than likely, they're going to be films that, like The Collector and the Collection, As Above, So Below, The Tunnel. I liked, what was that one? God, what was that one with the fucking Skype thing? Damn it. Shit. God damn it, I forgot what the fuck it was. I actually really liked it. I know a lot of people didn't. Now I gotta look it up. What the hell? Unfriended. I enjoyed that movie. When the Blair Witch came out in 99. And Stir of Echoes. I enjoyed that movie. That was 99. And then, anyway. Are there exceptions to the rule? Yes, but more than like, I don't know. I don't know. This is going nowhere. I better stop. Anyway, sorry I got on that tangent. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think it's a classic film. Still holds up to this day. Yeah, what more can I say that hasn't been said? In case people are curious what's on this is a Synapse Films, well, Dark Sky Films, but I just, Synapse right there. This one has a commentary with Marilyn Burns, Paul Bartain, Alan Danziger, and art director Bob Burns, which is sad because 3 out of 4 of them have passed away. Feature-length commentary with director Toby Hooper, cinematographer Daniel Pearl, and actor Gunnar Hansen, so you get 2 commentary tracks. Trailers, TV spots, radio spots, and then disc 2, you have an hour and 10-minute documentary called The Shocking Truth. You have about I forget how long, but another documentary, Flesh Wounds, which they talked with cinematographer Daniel Pearl. They have an interview with Gunnar Hansen, Life After Leatherface, interview with Edwin Neal, a little sort of talk about the House of Chainsaw Massacre, a tour of the house with Gunnar Hansen, deleted scenes and outtakes, blooper reel, still gallery. I don't know if there's more features on the Blu-ray, but that's what's on this DVD. And yeah, I like the color. I like the look of the title. I like the color scheme. Sort of this. I guess in this, it kind of looks like piss in this lighting, but it's sort of a golden shower. No, or it's a. I like this. I like to say, this is gold, baby. This is gold shit. It's not shit. It's gold, man. Anyway. How many times can I say anyway? But anyway. Anyway. Great movie. Classic film. Still holds up. One of the best horror films of the 70s. My favorite horror films of the 70s, I'd probably put Dawn of the Dead and Alien above it. But this would be up there. And Jaws. And there's a lot of good ones. I like Rituals with Hal Holbrook. There's a lot of them out there. I don't mind the 70s Body Snatchers film. Anyway, the list goes on. But yeah, this is definitely one of the best ones out there. But thanks for watching. Take care. And next time will be a fan commentary on Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. See you guys later.